Blog Talk Radio.
Fatcat, man, y'all rockin' a Fatcat show. This is my show. FAT, watch the time on you. Say it one more time. FAT, man, y'all rockin' a Fatcat show. This is my show. FAT, watch the time on you. Here we go. No matter what you say, I'ma spit it how I spit it so you niggas can forget it. Everybody is a critic. I walk in the dark with my chronicles acidic, with my game up the bar, so your girl will let me hit it. Damn, man, my show's simply marvelous. You can stop the hating and debating, you can't argue this. Cause if you found something better, you would sit Moretta while wearing an ugly sweater. But my show you listening, so stop the whimpering. This is for the sinners and the born again Christians. Turn to Philippians, nope, you can miss me then. If you wanna talk, take my number, you can hit me then. Cause you know my show was rocking. Fatcat, remember that when your girl is shocking. When them headphones are knocking. Fatcat show and you don't stop the knocking. FAT, man, y'all rockin' a Fatcat show. This is my show. FAT, watch the time on you. Say it one more time. FAT, man, y'all rockin' a Fatcat show. This is my show. FAT, watch the time on you. Here we go.
Yo, what's cracking? You rocking with your boy. Y'all know who it is. It's the Thinking Deacon, the Sinister Minister, the Rabbi Raymond Noodle, the Chaplain of Fried Chicken's Last Rites, and that's Fatcat. And I'm down here with my dog, the third son. What's cracking, man? You hear me? Peace. He said peace. Man, you silly, man. But no, what's crack-a-lacking in your world today, man? You hear me?
Oh, just let's see. Just enjoying that sunshine. Did a little bit of this, did a little bit of that. Very day of gratitude today was for me.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like you know the weather is trying to break and you know this is we getting into the season of love and a bit and you know I told you it's very different for men like us, but you know it's still a good thing though. But anyway, before we get into today's show and our topics and stuff like that, I just want to give some shout outs and stuff like that, some birthday shout outs. You know, I really don't know the birthdays today, you know, nobody's birthdays today personally. Like I said yesterday, I was a little bit more in shock because you know, my auntie was both on the birthday and the death list. So it was kind of like wow, you know what I'm saying? But I want to wish everybody that's still on this side of the land of the living a happy birthday, you know, and cherish this day. You know, you never know what the future might hold, you know, what tomorrow might bring. So always try to cherish the day that you have today. All right. And just like we got life, we got death, and we at the Fatcat Show want to send our heartfelt condolences out to those who lost people. And I'm asking people to continually pray for me and my family as we lay my auntie to rest on Tuesday. And this is a somber moment for me because as a minister, this will be my first eulogy. This would be the first time I eulogize and you know, lay someone to rest. So it's definitely, you know, just pray my strength and you know that I be able to get through, because this is the only really auntie that I knew, you know, growing up. So, amen. But anyway, just like we start off, we start everything, you know, off. You know, this month I'm gonna extend it because I don't want to marginalize us to 1 month. So every time on this show that I can pass a Black History fact, I will, because I will pass it off because if we don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna go do. We gotta start taking our own when we build our own. So so this is the Black History fact of today.
Known in history as one of the most well-known African Americans of the 20th century, helping build the farming community? Stay tuned for more as we share our top 10 fun facts about George Washington Carver, celebrating Black History Month. With our first fact, the life of George Washington Carver began circa 1864. The exact date is not known because he was born into slavery in Diamond, Missouri during the Civil War. Next, as a child, George was kidnapped. During this time, slavery raiders would steal other slaves, and George, his sister, and mother were kidnapped from their farm. This next fact is interesting, with Moses Carver, George's owner, letting George stay with him after slavery ended. That is where Moses' wife, Susan, taught George how to read and write because schools would not allow blacks to go there. Looking back in history with the next fact, education wasn't always open to everyone. That is where George was admitted to Highland College in Highland, Kansas, but Carver was denied admittance once the college found out his race. Carver made history in the world of education. That is where he worked with another icon in Black history, Booker T. Washington, managing the agricultural department at Tuskegee Institute. Our next fact is about a nickname given to George Washington Carver. When looking back at his life, because of his love for working with plants, he was given the nickname the Young Plant Doctor. Checking out this next fact, although many people associate George with peanuts, he worked with many plants. That was because after a presentation to Congress about his peanut creations like flour, milk, dyes, and cheese, George became known as the Peanut Guy, and it just stuck. Moving on to fact number 8, George had some good advice. That is where he helped President Theodore Roosevelt whenever he had questions about agriculture and helping the United States. Moving on to fact number 9, Carver spoke out against racism. For example, from 1923 to 1933, George toured white Southern colleges, stopping by to tell them the importance of people of different colors working together. With our 10th and final fact, George spent a large amount of his life saving money to create a museum. Carver used his savings to create the George Washington Carver Museum, Cultural and Genealogy Center in Austin, Texas. And we have come to the end of our...
Well, we get it. And yeah, we get it. You know what? I'm just, like I said, I think Satellite was saying it on the last show that like we really don't know, how powerful and important we were to history. And a lot of times that's why I'm doing my best to let my kids know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too many times that, like us coming up, we didn't. Most of us, we didn't have like quote unquote pro-black parents that taught us a lot of, that taught us our self-worth and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like my family coming from the South. My grandfather and all that, they were sharecroppers and stuff like that. So we really didn't know all of that. And then coming up, like I said, the family background was basically church and stuff like that. So it was like, we really wasn't taught. I seen my grandfather was a community guy. He was definitely a community guy, but he wasn't that one walking around saying, "Well, blacks need to blah blah blah." He wasn't that type of guy, So because he just, that's how they were taught. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my father told me a lot about just their generation was really one generation removed from slavery, so they don't even, so that's just how they were taught. What's your thoughts on just Black history?
Well, what I was thinking when you were playing that, I'm thinking, we need to add to this tradition, maybe honoring those of the past that are maybe no longer with us, and those that are here with us now.
Now, yes.
Work.
Yes.
I think we don't honor each other enough, man. We know people right now that we probably have in our phones.
Right.
That we can call that are exceptional people that are doing exceptional shit that are doing things to impact many people or change the minds of people. You know what I mean? I just think we need to do that.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. One of the things that I definitely think that it is important. Of course, history is important. Of course, the present is important because without both, we wouldn't have a future. You know what I'm saying? But I think too, to establish and know where we came from and where we got to, creates, because if you look at it now, this new generation that's under us, they so busy, kind of like really don't know where they come from, and they kind of knock the past. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They knock the past, and they just like, hey, I ain't worried about them old people. You know what I'm saying? That's basically how they think. My son called me old today. He was like, he said, "You old."
Hey, man.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you what he did to me today too. What was so funny, man? So I was changing my shirt, right, get ready to go out, right, and so he came in there. He said, I said, "What, Dad?" I said, "What's up, son?" He pointed to my stomach. He said, "Obesity."
Oh, wow. Now, the question is, did you feel a type of way about that?
No, I was laughing. I said,
did you hear that interview with Busta Rhymes? He said his son did that same thing to him, and it kind of like low-key devastated him in his mind.
Yeah, because I heard he dropped about 50 pounds or something, 150 pounds. Yeah, but you know what? But it is motivation to get it together, not just simply off of jokes. It's just because I want to be here for my great grands and all that stuff. And as you know what I'm saying, that's why I'm steady running on this treadmill. I bought this treadmill and stuff like that. And like I said, I want to be here for a long time because I just want to, I know eventually, of course, now my reality, watching my family die and stuff like that, it reminds you of your own mortality. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, if I say now, I think I embrace death a little bit better than I used to because, I know it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing really that I could do, but but the thing that I try to get to most of these people and my message, at the funeral is really that you don't have to be old. Remember when we were young, we were thinking death was just for old people. We didn't even think about. We thought we was invincible. But now you turn around, man. You see, not only you got COVID deaths, you just got just the environmental deaths of cancer and all kinds of stuff, and what you put in your body and stuff like that. And it just remind me. I think back when I was little with my grandparents, my grandfather was like in his late 40s and stuff. His movement and his health wasn't like mine at this age. You know what I'm saying? He was in better health.
Yeah, man. He was out there getting it, though. You know what I mean? Like 12, 16-hour days, hands feeling like leather gloves.
Right. So I just, I do take that serious, and I just, but that's another story. I ain't go to go on my obesity. But anyway,
right.
But anyway, our next story. One of the guys, man, that was implicated in the Capitol riots, right? We know we pretty much, I don't know if they caught all of them or what's going on. I know that justice is different for white people and all that, but one thing that I found out was this one guy. His name is Richard Machete, and he was caught when his ex-girlfriend snitched on him. When he called back, evidently when he was at the Capitol, he called his ex-girlfriend and told her that she's a moron if she didn't believe that the presidential election, the election was stolen. And so she called the FBI. And and so that goes to show you and that's a thing. Should we just men in general, should we give information so freely to women we date, especially without knowing, knowing the consequence, because hey, loose lips sink ships. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fact, bro. It's a fact, and I can't necessarily just quarantine it to just women. But what I will say is, hey, if you're gonna do some dirt, you better. If you must share with somebody, you better have some serious security in place. And you know what I mean by security,
right?
Safety measures,
right?
To make sure that But otherwise, I say do it by your own.
Because a lot of times, see what I think is like, because usually, by her being his ex, they must have had a little bit of a bond where he felt comfortable enough to still go back and talk with her, or they were still doing a thing and all that. And he thought, because some of us, our ego, some men, we like, I'm laying it down like that. I gotta, I gotta go down. We think that's enough to just, buy their silence or their loyalty or something like that.
Bro, it's like if you doing brave shit, don't be around scared motherfuckers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't do it. You got to make sure that those that's around you or those that you attempting to share that with is on the same page, because they might be, hey, he going crazy. Let me call and it's like,
right.
Like minds, man. Back to like minds again. You know what I'm saying?
It, like you said, and I don't say this I can't pronounce facetiously, but I say I think we know pretty much women rule the world.
They don't know that. They don't know that though. They don't. You
don't think so?
Okay, maybe. Okay, wait. You make a good point. I know where you going, but I'm just saying. I think so you think they plan innocent in the knowing of their power.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with you.
And it's just like, and it's been strategically planned. You know what I'm saying? Because first, if you look at it, at first they had to, because think about it, women's lib and all that stuff been around for a long time. With all this women's rights movements and all that stuff, that been around for a long time. But I think they saw that, hey, if we just have this agenda alone, we're not going to get our agenda heard. So we got to group this agenda with another agenda and get heard. And so, thus born LGBTQ. And so
it definitely is history that there's a lot, or evidence that there's a lot of agendas that are sandwiched in between those groups, other than the fact that they want women's rights. So
right.
We know it's a little bit more to it.
And then look what they did. Me Too movement. That's really messing people up. Especially men. It's really messing people up. Like I said, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk negative. I just call things like I see them. But I just, but to me, I'm not sharing no information, especially with no ex. That's like me calling my baby mama and say, "Hey, I just robbed the bank." You know what I'm saying?
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's just it's crazy. You know, I just don't. He must, because evidently, you know how sometimes. Well, I know you've been with yours for the long. I had plenty of exes, and you know what I'm saying. I had plenty of exes, and I could say that you know. Some of them might still love me. Some of them might hate the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I just ain't gonna take the chance on. Look, I'm just gonna share open my world up to you, and and just hope you don't tell on me.
All right, so I guess a mini question we'll have in between there. I would ask you do you think if you were to do something like the guy did, let's just say. If you were to do something like the guy did, could you share that with your wife?
You know what?
Or would you find a way to kind of keep her out of it?
You know what? I think just wholeheartedly knowing me and just knowing me and my wife's relationship, I don't try to keep a lot of things from her. And especially in the headspace that I am now. You know what I'm saying? The headspace that I am now, my conscience will kill me. So I would have to pour.
It'll probably tell the story anyway.
Yeah, I would have to pour it. I would have to pour it out to somebody, because I know, when I'm going through a lot of things, the most people I talk to, my wife, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got another minister friend I talk to, and it's just it'll be burning me. You know how you done see me at it.
Oh no, I know what you mean, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so definitely it'd
be burning me. But that's good to know, man. That's good to know that you how that you have outlets to exercise your emotional situations or your thoughts when your thoughts become smart.
Yeah, it sometimes my wife, she used to be that. See, I told you, but now she don't do. Now she don't do that. She more kind of analyzes and be like, but honey, it'd be all right. It'll, such. You know what I'm saying?
Evolution.
And then I try to change my way too. You know what I'm saying? Like even now, at the funeral, it's a lot of garbage going on in my family, and one of my minister friends, he told me to just minister love. He said, talk love, talk, togetherness, family togetherness. Don't whip nobody, because, grief brings out lots of different emotions, and just, just go on for it. So I geared my message around a lot of, metaphoric type things and stuff. And I'm nervous, but I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. So it's definitely.
You ready, man. You ready.
It's definitely that. So let me get to our next topic before we go to our main topic. And this is not a surprise to a lot. We always knew, that the FBI was involved with the murder of Malcolm X, the assassination. And the documentary was a pretty good documentary. What's up, Blade? I'm sorry, I forgot about you. The documentary was a pretty good documentary. It named the guys, but it was a lot of smoke and mirrors in that, of who killed them and all that. This guy had behind this cover and all that. And pretty much the family was holding a letter that and the guy was an ex-undercover police officer who gave this letter, and he said he didn't want it opened until he died, and the family granted his request. And I'm going to look at this video, and we're going to talk about it for a minute.
The potentially explosive new information involving the assassination of civil rights activist Malcolm X 50 years ago today. It comes from the family of a former NYPD officer in a letter released after his death. And ABC's Zachary Quiche is at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City, where Malcolm X was shot. Zachary, good morning to you.
You know, Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, El Haj, Malik El-Shabazz, Dan, you can call him whatever you like. Malcolm X was a fearless black man. It made him a prophet for some and a problem, a threat for others.
We want justice by any means necessary. We want equality by any means necessary.
He spoke truth to power and sought to liberate black Americans, free them from the rot of racism.
Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
56 years after Malcolm X was assassinated here in Harlem, new details have emerged. According to this deathbed note penned by a former undercover NYPD officer sent to infiltrate and undermine the man and the movement, the letter says both the FBI and the NYPD were involved.
Under the direction of my handlers, I was told to encourage leaders and members of the civil rights groups to commit felonious acts.
Ray Woods is his name. Lawyers say after carrying the burden of his decisions for decades, the details were placed in the hands of a cousin, Reggie, to be released after his death.
He was a good man that was tricked and forced to betray his own people. And he felt guilt and remorse for that for 56 years.
There have been questions about what happened at the Audubon Ballroom from the beginning. Many have been explored through books and film, most recently in a Netflix documentary.
Because the official count.
Well, we get it. We get it.
Wow. I didn't know it got to mainstream media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because did you ever see the documentary?
No.
You gotta. Who killed Malcolm X? You gotta watch the documentary.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, we did. I watched a little bit of it. Now you made me want to finish.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
you got to, because they said it was enough evidence in that documentary alone to reopen the case. But probably most of the people dead by now. Because I heard most of the people that were locked up for it, some of the people really didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, because
that ain't nothing.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
They've been doing it.
Yeah. So they, it's funny, but watching it, man, just kind of lets you know, like, and it make you think about some of our quote unquote supposed leaders today. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, if you look at them and you be like, ain't nobody tried to take you out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody tried to.
And I can name one that a whole bunch of people follow. And you already know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, he living like a mug. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, they never tried to take you out because they try to. The FBI and the federal government try to neutralize threats. You know what I'm saying? They don't even see you as a threat. So it's definitely,
right. If you're not a threat, you might be an assistant, an ally,
right,
an accomplice,
right.
I mean,
right. So it's just funny. Like I said, it was, and just, shout out to those, because I watched something so surreal to me. I watched one of his daughters really, made me really analyze people who did this like civil rights work and were activists at a bold time in our country. And it reminded me that these men basically gave their lives, without a second thought. They gave their lives and didn't ask for anything. They just did it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't paid leaders and stuff like that. They knew they were going to die. You know what I'm saying? They knew basically like, hey, like most people in our days, they like, hey, I'm not taking no bullet. I got a family to take care of. I got this and this. These men didn't care about that at a more crucial time where, where it was time to stand up and do something. You know what I'm saying? Right. So man, shout outs, man, to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, to Marcus Garvey, to, all of the, Fred Hampton, all of them, man, that gave their lives, man, to try to, you know, solidify this thing and make things good for Black America. All right. For real,
we
man.
definitely, you know, we can say a lot of things about all of. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. yeah. Go ahead.
My bad.
No problem.
Yeah, we can definitely say a lot of things about a lot of them. I had some certain feelings about MLK for a little bit, you know, especially once I start, you know, diving into the history and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, yes, it was a sacrifice. It was he at least gave us an example of shit, either what to do or what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you know what though? What I said, Martin Luther King showed, you know, his life showed that you can't even reason with him. Basically, that's what it showed. You can't even reason with him. You just, you know, as good as you try to be, you know, as fair as you try to be, even though the playing field ain't fair for you, as much as you know, because I seen that like if the mindset of Black people were like the Panther Party, if our mindset was like that today, oh my God, man, do you know? None of that. What's the man that was killed? George Floyd stuff would go on. None of that type stuff would go on. You know, because we would know better. If we learn from our past, we would definitely.
I mean, we were in this please accept me spirit, and that's what we should really learn.
Right.
That the please accept me, I'm begging you, was a waste of time. We give honor to our ancestors that gave that sacrifice, but he put his life. Some of them, like MLK, put their life on the line to show that, hey, begging, begging for acceptance is not the answer.
Right. So definitely, I love having these powerful discussions, and I went over enough time for our main topic for today, man. I want to get into our main topic for today, and our main topic for today is, are women characters in question who don't have custody of their kids? Once again, are women characters in question who don't have custody of their kids? A lot of times, man, I look at this, and I thought about this a lot, because I know several women that, I mean, it's no knock to nobody, but and I know the question, you know, I know the characters of most of these women that I know, and I hate to say it, some is in my family, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I get to watching them, and I say, you know, and it'd be like the kids are better off with the daddy than the mama, and it's weird to say that because mothers are supposed to be nurturing figures. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sorry, in this day in society, you think men we're more of the, you know, even though women work just as much as men, you know, they grind just like we do, but men by nature, we're supposed to be hustlers and grinders, and you know what I'm saying? So it's hard for us to give the kids the attention, and you know, we can't nurture. You know what I'm saying? We can't nurture. So like, and that's the role.
At least we can't replace the nurturing nature of a mother yet.
Yeah. So it baffles me when women, you know, like when a split happens and a family breaks up, and a mother is so willing to be like, hey, y'all go with y'all daddy. You know what I'm saying? That says something to me. That really. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, man, I've never held a child in my body for 9 months, but I can only imagine that if I went through that experience, and of course all the pain and all that shit, there's no way I could not have some serious connection to that.
Right. You know what
I'm saying? It seems almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
But hey, you gotta have compassion at least to a certain level. Like if you did all that and you're able to let your child go, you must have really was in a headspace that most can't understand.
Right. And see, don't get me wrong. I understand to a degree if the mother isn't in a headspace to do it, or just say, for instance, let's say a man is in a relationship with a woman and she has boys, and maybe she wants the boys to go with the father so the father can teach them how to be men. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to sound sexist, which I'm not, because women cannot teach young men to be men. I don't care what, somebody can call, fuss at me or whatever. But I'm just saying, I know that's the key fact, because I know my mom, raised me the best way she could, but for the most part, my upbringing came from my grandparents, which my grandfather was the father, in the house, and he taught me certain things that my grandmother and mother couldn't teach me. You know what I'm saying? So and one of the things that I hate the most that I didn't learn from them was gardening. My grandfather, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my grandfather used to be out there. He'd be like, he'll teach me to make the rows. He'll tell me to make the garden row. Right. So I make the rows and stuff. And my grandfather, he'd be out there, tomatoes, squash, all of that. He'd be out there planting that stuff. I'd be like, man. Right. But all I wanted to do back then was play basketball or go. Right. Yeah. Yep. So
I mean, like, both of my grandparents did have gardens. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm sure I was out there when I was real young, helping do little simple stuff. But no, they never did teach me really the science. Garden, and growing and what not to do, what to do. So that's definitely a very important skill, man. If you got somebody that's on the garden tip, man.
And you know what? Because a lot of times too, women are so important to the tree. They are so important to that tree because we have. Of course, we're supposed to have two sides. We're supposed to have, that what the mother adds to us and what the father adds to us. And I think one of the most important things that I saw, that like the important role that my grandmother played, not only was she a spiritual woman and she added the spirituality to me, the nurturing, the love. She showed me love and how to love, because my grandfather wasn't one of them type people, them fathers. He wasn't that hugging type father. He wasn't that, he wasn't that, so, the men of that generation, they be like I told you, I'll be like, Granddad, I love you. Be of good cheer. Granddad, I love you. Be of good cheer. And that's how he was. I think that's the last thing he said to me when I told him I loved him. I said, Granddad, I love you. Be of good cheer. But
you knew he loved you.
Yeah, but I knew he loved me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't feel that. Each generation is different. We add a different layer to generations, So we add different.
As we should.
Yeah, we add a different layer, and I think now, because I always felt like this. I think that's why there are so many. Young guys around here, and they're so heartless because they don't know that love. Either the mother is, act like she hate them, or you know what I'm saying, and the father ain't even around, or and stuff like that, and they so heartless, and they don't and they don't know. It was, so definitely this generation. I know when I had my kids, each one of my sons, as well as my daughter, I always let them know, hey, I love you all the time. When my son, I call my son, my oldest son, even though he's 22-year-old, 6'2" giant butt, I'll tell my son, I call him, I said, son, I love you. And he'd be like, I love you too, Pops. Call me Pops.
Right.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So it's because I know how it felt.
Y'all don't have no other choice, man. Y'all are twins.
And I love that boy. That boy just, he'd call me. He get on my nerves sometimes. But that's just how it is. I know I used to get on my mother. My mother used to be like, "You make me sick." You talk too much. You ever heard your mother say, "You talk too much"? You like your grandfather or something like that. So and it's all good. But like I said, I think from this generation of women, we done seen a evolving. Where they almost like, and I'm not just simply talking about the gay community, where we got the dykes and stuff like that, but I'm talking about women, period. They kind of got a little masculinity in them or something, like where they just like, they done evolved. They ain't that gone with the wind type woman. No, man. Man, this is a different breed. This is a different breed of woman.
I think, shit, it's a different breed of kids, period, right now, man. Cause like even the boys is a little bit softer with the skinny jeans and all that. Right. And, the chicks is, like you said, so. But it's man, it's times, man. That's why it's important. Really, it's our generation that kind of
dropped the ball. Really. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball. But I mean, crack is something else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, crack is a hell of a drug. You know what I mean?
But you know what though? It's not even all the way drugs. Really, it was. It's a bunch of things. We were Generation X was a party generation. We was too busy partying hip hop party generation, and you know what I'm saying. And then you just think about it. Our minds was poisoned with most of that hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We were poisoned by most. We were poisoned.
We love it, but it had some detriment.
Yeah, because because I actually grew up thinking like that. Like, ooh, Ice Cube them players and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you actually grew up thinking like that. They actually players, and then it didn't help that the older generation, the generation before you, would always say they didn't have us focusing on family and finding a wife and raising kids and stuff. They was telling us, oh, how many girlfriends you got? I bet you ain't no player like me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So naturally now we looking at women at a different, at a different level. We like, hey, I ain't trying to wife you up, I ain't trying to.
We had songs like, homie said we don't love them hoes. And then think about how crazy this is. We convinced the women to dance to those songs.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. So now you understand how that trickle effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The programming was heavy in the 90s and definitely in the 2000s. Once it got across 2000, it got crazy.
Yep. We don't love them. Remember the baby phrase? We don't love them hoes. And that just really, and we thought that stuff was cool. We thought it was cool, and it's no wonder right now that and it's deeper than just surface. That stuff went deep in the DNA. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it went deep in the DNA where it's like, man, where you did that and then you bred that to your next, next and that next, and now they like, and like
when I came up, man, I can't say that it directly influence me, but not everybody has the mind to be able to swim through that programming and still come out on the other side normal, balanced, you know what I mean, having a head on your shoulder, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who took that as real reality, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like what's going on right now. You got a lot of little girls looking at the Cardi B's and all this, the Megan Thee Stallions, and that's a woman to them.
Right.
A woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like...
And you know, it's so funny today. I was looking at my youngest son. You know, he came downstairs and he, you know, it's so funny because he looked so much now like his older brother. You know, and he had that same little smile, and he came down and he looked at me. I said, "Boy, you got that teenage look on now." And then we was getting ready. I was getting ready to go to GFS to go buy some things to cook for dinner. And my son was like, "Dad, can I go with you?" I said, "Yeah." And so he came down. So every moment that I get with my son, not only do I try to show love and unity with him and build with him, I try to make it a teachable moment. You know what I'm saying? So he came downstairs and he had his cash, you know. He had his little cash on him, and it was all in his pocket and stuff. And I was like, whoa. I said, how much money in your pocket? He said, I don't know. I said, well, count that money. I said, where your wallet at we bought you? He said, upstairs. I said, your wallet shouldn't be upstairs. It should be in your pocket. Your money should be in your wallet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, come here.
You should know exactly how much is in your
wallet
before you open.
Right. And those are the things that I was training and teaching them. And then we went to the store, and you know, because my kids really now, because everything is kind of like provided right now, they really don't pay attention to value of things. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm trying to teach them the value of things. Like my son sat around there, he had money sitting up on the dresser. He had almost $30. I'm sitting up here like, man, I said, dang, you got more money than I got in my pocket right now, you know? and so I said, man, you keep your money. I said, where your ID at? He got an ID. And I said, always keep your ID on you. You know, keep your, you know, all of that. You don't know. You said you might fall out. Nobody know who you are. You know, you be around deep, you know. So it's a lot of things that I try to, you know, prepare them and teach them. Even with my daughter, you know, my daughter was like, Dad, she said, why can't I go? And I said, you're a young lady. I said, you know, my daughter's hair wasn't done. And I was like this. I said, you're a young lady. You're a beautiful young lady. And I said, you always want to present yourself as beautiful. You know, you don't want to come out looking any kind of way. You know, she, you know, her hair was like just all over, she just all that. I said, you know, present yourself. You know, when you look good, you present yourself good. You're gonna feel good about yourself, and nobody will be able to really talk down on you. And you're gonna feel. I said, not that you're not beautiful now, but it's just that you know you don't want to be out here like, you know, because if you start, you know, just making yourself look at, you know, any kind of way, then you're gonna be like these. I'm sorry, hoochie hood rats that come up. Yeah, the thoughts they come out with the bond, you know, them bonds on their head, and all that type of stuff.
You talking about the beauty store special?
Yeah. I can't stand that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it didn't go into save a thought and all that bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I'm telling you, man, it's women don't know. You know, I love my black women. I do. I love them so much, but they just like, even when we talk about what's your guy name again?
Kevin Samuels.
You know, and they mad at him. But he do, you know, because he tells the honest, hardcore, cutting truth. And that's the type of truth that hurt. Now, if he sugarcoated it, then they'll love it. But you know,
I was
okay.
telling my wife the other day, like a lot of what he was saying is that a lot of it is men don't have the luxury to have super pie in the sky dream, these pie in the sky ideals and this, that, and the other. If we look at nature, the man goes out, he go hunts. He might not see a buffalo. We going down to straight up bare bones nature.
Yeah.
If he might see a buffalo one time that whole day, and if he missed that shot, his family can't eat.
Right.
So he don't have the luxury to be inaccurate with how he assess what's important out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That carries on, man.
Let me clear something up right quick, because Big Quick said, for the record, I keep my girl flying together, my son too. She do. See, she didn't get that. My wife does, the Mean Queen does a excellent job of keeping our kids together. But I'm just saying, sometimes you know how it is when you're sitting in your house and y'all don't plan on going nowhere. You relax and you know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing. Yeah. And that's the only thing, because my wife, like, if she know my daughter going somewhere, my wife get their hair together, and I applaud my wife for that. Especially my daughter be what they say on fleek when she get ready to leave the house. So babe, don't think I'm talking about you in a negative way. No, because I know you get the kids together. She be having them look, especially on Sunday. She be having them looking.
It was just a moment. It was probably just a moment that your daughter was.
She was sitting up. What's up, Janine? What's happening? Yeah, but anyway, it's
What up, Janine?
And this is not a discussion to downgrade women or anything, but it's just something to just think, because I thought about that so heavy. I said, what kind of woman would be able to give her kids up or not, in a breakup? Wait a minute. Mean Queen said, because people be like, where's her mother? That's the mother's job. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know, love. I know, babe. But
don't worry about them folks. You know what you do.
Yeah, you know what you. Yeah. Please believe it. Please believe it. I was raised by strong women, so I knew how to take on a strong woman. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing like that. I'm in a different place in my life, and I know I chose the right queen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm so happy for y'all, man. I just thinking back when y'all first got together. Man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but because my journey. My journey more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hard road, man. I had to go through that jungle cutting the weeds down, man, to find her. So I did plenty of nights. Have you seen her? I did plenty of nights like that. So it's yeah, man. But it was something I was holding on sad. But I got an old man mind, man. And it was something I was supposed to got off with. She said she laughing now, but that's the thing too. And I forgot to put this out. We do got 6 minutes, so if you want to call in, that number is 646-564-9728. And if you want to make a real quick call in or something and add to the topic, go ahead and do it. Yeah. So it's really, I know there's some real strong women out there, and I think the strongest woman that I ever seen, excluding my wife, but the strongest woman that I ever seen was my grandmother. I really seen, because my grandmother at all times carried herself like a woman, like a lady. She carried herself like a lady. She never, even though my grandfather might have been from that old school, the man, my grandmother never tried to showboat him, never belittled him, never did that. She carried herself. She smiled with grace. She sat there and you know, and smiled with grace, and you know, just did what a wife and mother should do. And she took care of the kids. You know, my grandfather provided a home for her where she didn't have to work, and you know what I'm saying. But she took care of the kids. She took care of her grandkids. You know what I'm saying. And the most blessed thing that I can always say that you know, my granddaughter. I said my granddaughter. My daughter got a chance to spend time with her great grandma, and she got pictures, you know, them laying in the bed eating popcorn, and my grandmother gave her a doll that was given to her, you know, a long time ago. She gave her a doll, and I always tell my daughter, I said, take care of that. Because take care of that, and it's definitely, you know, I am so appreciative too, and don't ever get it twisted, black women, we love y'all, you know,
it's deep love, it's a deep love, and that's why I think we in this real weird point right now where we kind of like in this battle. And we know that there are outside forces that's really kind of agitating that. But,
right.
We just trying to figure it, get through all that,
right,
and come back together again. I think the Me Too movement and Kevin Samuels are both, although they are both extreme, they both need it, because basically they're teaching both sides, pull your head out your ass and love each other.
You said
that's what's happening.
You said that.
Value each other properly, as opposed to trying to exploit. You know, use. You know what I mean? So,
because you know what? Because on the real, sometimes love has to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Love has to be tough. So, and that's what a lot of people don't get. You know, love. You know. It's unconditional, but sometimes it come because you know, as long as me and you been boys, we each gave each other tough love before. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the hardest pill to swallow, that tough love, because especially when you on some bull crap, and you know you on some bull crap, and then somebody read you your rights on it, and you like, oh, you know, because you got to get past pride and ego to be able to swallow that pill. So
to really go back to realize that you still love that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, at the end of all the garbage, I still love you, and that we supposed to respect each other.
Right. And that's one of the biggest things out, because like I said, man, I cherish everything that comes in my life, especially the good and the bad, because you can learn from both of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I even said it with my grandfather. I don't never try to push him off like he was a perfect savior, because I learned from some of the things that I didn't like, as well as the good things that he did. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's because it's a teaching moment. If you just stop totally just think, if you think I know everything I need to learn, then you're gonna be primitive. You just because life is ever evolving. You know what I'm saying? Just think. Not too long ago we didn't have things that we could watch at home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things that we could watch at home. We didn't have, you know, VCRs to DVDs and you know.
Do you know how futuristic it sounded to us to have to say, bro, what if we had a phone where we could see each other and talk?
Right.
You know how futuristic that sounded at one time?
Right.
And now we here.
Right.
So what's really good?
Right. What's really good? But for some reason I couldn't turn my music on, and we got 33 seconds left. So I wanna give a shout out to everybody listening. What's up, Janine? What's up, Blade? What's up, my love, the love of my life, Mean Queen, and everybody that's watching out there. We say good day, and be safe and love each other, man, and just just spread the love, man, because it's so much, man, going on out here, and there's not enough love being spread. So you got anything you want to say?
You know what? I just want to quickly say you were talking about the strongest women, and I just want to give honor to my wife. She is the strongest woman I know.
Yeah.
Period.
Amen. Amen.
So I just want to tell her I'm looking over her now. She over there smiling. That I love her, and she is the rock, man. So
okay, Muffy. Muffy. All right, y'all. We up out of here. Peace.